Hello and welcome back to Sci Fishes. We are back down on my membership water. Oh, what the weather's doing today. It's supposed to be 18 degrees, but there's a sharp wind at the minute. There is sun behind the clouds, so it's definitely going to warm up. And today we are getting ziggy with it. So even though this is the shallow end of the lake, I've decided to go down the far end, which is the deeper end. Wow, looks lovely. The water's fairly high. It's covering the first piece of wood where you can step down to release the fish, but shouldn't be a problem releasing fish. Excellent, this looks superb. Let's have a little jog over here. You can walk around along this bank, so you can always walk around and chuck some baits in along this margin. That really looks a good spot. I think my bottom bait rod is going to go out with the concrete sluices there. Two nets in case it kicks off. I wish. And I've got a brand new unhooking mat. I shall show you this in a minute. And also a brand new water bucket. So I'll show you both of those. So the rods are already rigged up. All I need to do is clip a rig on. So this is going to be my bottom bait rod. And this is my Zig rod. As you can see, that is the Zyggo. Just going to put some scopex squid boilies out on this far margin. So I've got a new small tackle box, more for day sessions to be honest, but it's got these little boxes which is really good. So I've got all my hair stops in there, this one, a few leads, just because you don't need too much on a day session. This scopex squid syrup tastes really good. It's probably not for humans, but So this is the Ridgemonkey Zyggo. So when you cast out, this weight goes to the bottom, and this float rises to the top, and then from the end of this is a swivel that pushes into there, and your rig ties onto that. So in that new little tackle box you get a couple of these to attach rigs to. I mean, if I'm doing my normal hair rigs, it'll probably just hook here, swivel here, because it's about 6 inches maybe. But because I'm doing zigs, you can make them any length you want. You can keep wrapping it around. You can see it goes around the end, and if you want to make a 4-foot zig, 6-foot zig, you can keep going round and round with the line and then putting the pins in place to keep it attached. But today I've just made up 3 short ones. So that loop I created on the end of my zig goes through the eye of the swivel there, and I made it fairly large because you want this to be able to fit through easily. So you drop it through, you pull this tight, you pull this through, and you can see it's attached to the swivel. The only fish I've caught on a zig was on a piece of black foam with a piece of yellow corn glued to it. So yesterday I made up some bits of foam with yellow foam glued to the bottom of it there. So when I cast out, it should sit like this. Fingers crossed a carp will come across it. They're so noisy, these Canadians. Right, if you can hear me over the geese, I'm just going to cast my zig out to the centre of the lake. So what I'll probably do is leave that. It's probably a foot beneath the surface, my foam at the minute, and maybe give it half an hour, reel in another foot, so then it's 2 foot beneath the surface. Just going to keep doing that until I get a take. So while we are waiting for a bite, I'll quickly show you my unhooking mat. So it's made by Logic, and it's quite a chunk. It's held together with those 2 clips, and the outer bit goes on the inside when you're not using it. So you do this, take the outside part, the foam that goes inside is probably 70mm deep, so that is really, really good. Loads of protection. Let's just tuck that in there. And on the ends, both ends of this unhooking mat has a zip. So you can zip that up when you've got the fish on the bank. You can carry the fish to the water, and when you want to release, you undo the zip and it can just slide out into the lake. I really like that. I really like that. That's one of the reasons I got this mat. The other good thing about it is you've got this protector that can go over the top. Say if you have to leave the fish for a few seconds and you don't want the fish flipping out, stretch this over. There's 4 Velcro straps, and you can see it's got a shield to stop the fish flipping out if you have to step away for a minute. And it's got the 2 handles, so you can carry the fish back to the water, and like I said, zip that down, slide the fish out. And that's my new unhooking mat. So this is the new bucket I got. This is the Fox Carp Master Welded XL. The reason I've got a new bucket, there's a clue. The jetties over the other side, or the yetis as I like to call them. When the water's down, it's really far down to get some water in your bucket, and I couldn't reach, it's really difficult to reach. So I saw these online, and the rope is really useful. Let me show you how it works. So that's it, you just drop it in the edge with the rope. It doesn't matter how far away the water is from you, even if it's like 4 foot down, you can still get a bucket of water. I've got these with me. Why do bees like me? I'm not a sunflower. Let's start again. I've got these with me because it's still spring. No, it's the first day of spring yesterday, so we've only just come into spring. It's really chilly, that water still. People do say the brighter baits work the best in the springtime and in winter. They do say the carp's eyesight is not so good in the winter time, so bright baits is the thing to use. So I can always swap over to one of these. So I've just reeled it in 1 more foot, so now the zig is 2 foot beneath the surface. But there's been nothing on the bottom bait, so let's change it over to a pop-up. So while I'm sitting waiting for something to happen, just making up some PVA bags. even if you don't use them on this trip, depending on what's in them, they'll last for weeks and weeks. This time I'm just putting some pellets inside, and it don't really matter too much what they look like. It's a bit different to solid bags where people will lick and fold the ends over to make it more aerodynamic, although I don't really think that makes too much difference. It goes in the lake and it melts. Only if you're casting real long distances does that aerodynamic thing matter. So here we go, just put some pellets into a PVA bag. I'm just doing tiny little ones at the minute because I was thinking of having a recast later on and maybe just doing a mouthful of bait instead of a big spread of bait or a bigger PVA like this. Small amount, just big enough for one helping, so if a carp comes along he can suck it all up in one go with my hook bait, hopefully. So yeah, these don't take long to make up if you want to do them at home, so they're already done when you get on the bank. Sit in front of the TV, knocking them up. Your wife will love the smell of the bait. There you go. Just snip it off quite tight to the knot. Zig rod's my first beep since we've been here. Just a couple of beeps on a zig can mean a bite, so I've got to keep an eye on this closely. So I'm just having a real close look at the water, just trying to spot the slightest movement, bubbles, fish topping, anything, any sign of a fish. Oh, you know what, just as I'm saying that, I've just seen something just beyond the concrete. I saw something top twice, so I don't think I'll disturb the water yet. If it is a carp, it's pretty nearby to my hook bait where it's sitting. It's about a rod length away. Let's leave it for now. Nothing's happening, folks. I just had a chat with a fellow who is going to appear over here in a minute. He just wants to fish that far bank in the margin, so I said go for it. Maybe he knows something. Maybe that's the tactic. Margins down this end of the lake. Quite like to keep this buzzer, a couple of bait sticks and a bobbin spare, just in case I want to do a wandering rod, and that's what I'm going to do. Take my spare bank stick, gonna plonk a rod down in this corner. Because I'm fishing the margin, I think slack lines can work really well. So let's see what happens. In that little bay, I think I've got a take. I had about 6 beeps and it's gone quiet. Heart pumping. Come on, pick it up. Whew, well, I've got about 2.5 hours to go. That rod that I had a bit of a pickup on earlier, just recast it with a tiny PVA bag of pellets on. Gonna give it maybe 1 more hour maximum in this swim. I feel like I need to be down the other end of the lake where I usually fish. So 30 minutes, have a rethink, and I'll start gathering some bits together for the walk back to the shallow end of the lake. Right, I'm loaded up, ready to change swims. Let's just bring this rod in. We've got 2 hours to nab one down the far end. It's unbelievable. Can you see them ripples? A fish just spooked. Look, I've just reeled this in. I'm going to swing it out there. Just going to put it back out there for another 10 minutes. Just quickly, single bank stick. Definitely spooked a fish over in that corner, so I've just swung it out there. I desperately want to get to the other end of the lake, but when there's an opportunity, you can't ignore it. Well, I just heard a little commotion, looked up. It looks like the fellow who fished in the corner has got one on. I told you he knew something. He fishes the margins always. And if you sit there quietly and for long enough, something will come along. And he's proved it. Well done, mate. You know what? This is a good angle. Can't be bothered to move my chair. You know what? I think to stand the best chance of actually getting a fish is to bring in the Zig and put a second rod out with the PVA bag on. All the fish I've caught from this lake have been on bottom baits. I really want to fish on a Zig, but I just don't think it's going to happen today. Going to give it 20 minutes, reel the Zig in, double bottom bait for the win. Here we go. Let's try and avoid the trees above my head, out to the centre of the lake. PVA bag. I just had a tiny little pickup on my right hand rod. Well, that's the brightest bit of sun we've had all day. It's been constant cloud and a constant wind, and that's why I've got this hat on. Oh, that's it. Lovely bit of sun to end the day, and a lovely carp. So as you can see from this session, it's still not easy. We're still in March. It won't be too far away until the fish need to switch on and start eating. They want to be gaining weight, ready for spawning, so they will be searching out for food. We've got 10 minutes to go. We could be lucky. It's happened before on this lake. You never know what's going to happen. So let's count down them last 10 minutes. Start getting the gear together. Come on. So it's a blank, I'm afraid. Sorry, that's just the way fishing goes. Hope you enjoyed the video anyway. If you're new to Zig fishing, hopefully you learned a little bit from me today. Those Zyggos from Ridgemonkey are definitely the best adjustable Zig floats I've ever used. Thanks for sticking with me, even on the blank sessions. Hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.